I'm Kamerie Gibson. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, the podcast. I believe that one of the most precious gifts you can share with someone is your story. Pain has purpose and stories can change lives. Your journey to become more inspired and transformed by the lives of those around us starts now. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming our pain into power. And today I have a beautiful guest with me here today. Her name is Stephanie. Stephanie, if you want to go ahead and introduce the audience to introduce yourself to the audience for me, please.
Yeah. So my name's Stephanie. I am a makeup artist and hairstylist. I've been in the industry for about 6 years now, and actually met Cam on one of my pretty consistent jobs. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off. We've been friends for a few, I don't even know how long, when was the last time.
Remember, yeah.
It's been a minute though, but
Yeah.
I told Cam that I always like talking to her about stuff, so here we are.
Yes. I really just felt like, I can't remember. Okay, so just to give the audience context, oh, that's a cute glass. We met on set, and on set it was on a porn set. So
Yeah.
for some people that don't know, you can work in porn and not be a porn star. So those people include people that are involved in production. So Stephanie working in the beauty industry. I know you can do hair and makeup, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup. And could you talk about what your primary role is on a porn set?
Yeah, so main thing is getting talent ready, hair and makeup, making sure that they look good at all times, making sure that they feel good, helping them if they feel uncomfortable. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of females on set, and so I'm sure it can be a little intimidating, if not only for the makeup artist, but for the talent for sure. So just being there, helping keep good vibes is also like really important, I think, for everyone in general. But yeah, hair, makeup, making sure everyone looks good, feels good, and it's good to go.
Yes. I remember about you though, you were always on time. I remember, and you were super independent. You are super independent. You get your own suitcase, you get your own chair, like you're like, I got this. And just super just like chill, and I loved it. And you just seem very confident and just like, I got this, I know my job. And yeah, you're getting the women ready and beautiful, but you're also supporting them throughout the entire shoot, which people don't see. You're making sure that hair doesn't stick up, that eyelash doesn't look off in the picture, because that's a part of the talent's brand. That's their image, which is also a reflection of your work. Can you talk about how important it is for you to do a good job when you're working on these faces and hairs?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so like you said, making sure that they look good the entire time, and that everything's like where it should be and should be laying right and stuff. Sometimes people, especially in that industry, like they're busy doing other things and keeping themselves and their mental prepared for all that, so they don't really have someone to watch out for them as far as hair and makeup looks and stuff. So we're there to make sure that that's okay, and that's our number one priority. And if someone doesn't look good in these instances, they don't feel good, and so it's really important that they feel good and they look good and they're prepared. And the turnaround time for touch-ups and things like that is also very fast, so just making sure that the work is going to stand up through the scenes, and even on mainstream as well, like through whatever's happening during that scene, so that you don't have to take more time and waste everyone else's time that's on production and just kind of lollygag around or whatever, have to redo everything. So just making sure that the makeup and the hair can kind of look good, and just minor touch-ups here and there so that it's okay.
Yes. Being on set can be, especially in a porn set, it can be super male dominated, and like you said, the makeup artists are the talent's first line of defense and support. And as far as like advocating for them, if the talent doesn't feel comfortable doing something, the makeup artist may communicate that to the director, the producer. How have you been able to support your clients in situations?
Yeah, I mean, I think because the first chair that they usually sit in talent over like in general and most in this industry and then in mainstream stuff, the first chair that they sit in is in your chair, like for hair and makeup, right? So that's like usually the first place that they go. So they're just kind of in talks, just letting you know like what their day was like, what they've done during the week, what they're looking forward to, if they're nervous, things like that, and just kind of talking through just in regular, conversation about what they can or may not expect or how they're feeling that day even. Maybe someone tells me that they aren't feeling super energized, so I can like in talks kind of communicate to whoever else is on set and help with maybe like a caffeinated beverage or good music or a really good wardrobe pick if they like express something from I don't feel confident in this or this, just like you said, the first line of like communication with the talent and then also with the director. So it's kind of like the talent feels very comfortable talking to a makeup or hairstylist because they're in that chair. There's something about the chair that makes people want to talk to you. And so they feel comfortable just expressing things to you that maybe they wouldn't right off the bat say walking into a room, like walking into a set. So yeah, I think that makes me feel good about what I do in the industry because it's not only help like making people look and feel beautiful, but also being able to talk to them in a more natural level with no pressure. Because to me, I'm not the director or the producer, so it really it's not going to do anything to me. I'm not going to feel any type of way if they express something to me, but I can also express to the team how talent may be feeling or what their vibe is like, so everyone's aware and we can all be comfortable in the situation.
Right. I love that. And I see you do it, and I see that makeup artists are more than just like, I'm sorry, they're not, I say makeup artists, but I know what's a moi? I'm sorry, what's the difference between a moi and a makeup artist?
That is makeup artist. So it's just like it's an abbreviation for a makeup artist, MUA. But yeah, I feel like usually they just say makeup artist, but a lot of times makeup artist is also hair or, helps with other things, body makeup, whatever's
Wardrobe
happening,
sometimes?
wardrobe
Yeah.
even sometimes. Yeah, I like to help a lot of my talent with getting into wardrobe just to be like, help someone make them comfortable. It's not in my job description, but it's going to make someone feel comfortable and like, feel like they have a friend there. Um, of course. And then also if it is male dominated, a lot of times they like having multiple female input, they like to know that um, what they pulled together makes sense and actually looks
Yeah.
good. Because a lot of times, and I respect that, I feel like a lot of times maybe males may be very more dominant and be like, no, this looks good. This is how it's going to go. But they welcome in this industry, the one that we worked in, they welcome, feedback and input from the makeup artists and other stylists and the talent and just make everyone feel very comfortable and their opinions are always valued. So I think
Yeah.
it's really cool.
I wanted to ask you because you said something earlier, working in both mainstream and in the adult entertainment industry, behind the scenes, of course, though. Same with myself. I know I was kind of hesitant as far as do I tell people what I do for my
Yeah.
full time? How did you go about that? How do you go about
I feel like I usually don't tell people what I do unless they ask because I do a lot. Like my every day is different. Like with work, I'm on mainstream or I'm in the salon, or I'm, you know, on an adult set. Like it's all different, really. So when people ask me what I do, I just kind of say like I do hair and makeup, and then if we continue the conversation, I go into my experiences and where I've worked and what I do and my consistent gigs that I get. My most consistent one would be working in the adult industry, right? But I'm also in the shop consistently. So when people want to talk about it, I definitely bring it up. But aside from that, it's just because I do so many different jobs. Every like Monday's different, Tuesday's different, Friday's different, that it's never consistent enough to be like I work here and this is the only thing that I do. So when I tell people, I'm just like I do hair and makeup. My days are always different, And then if we continue on with the conversation, I'm like, yeah, I do mainstream stuff. I'm in the salon. I'm in the adult industry. Like, and usually people are very intrigued. Like, as soon as I say
They
that, they're
are.
like, oh, please tell me more. And,
Right.
and
They
it's like,
always are.
yeah, always. But I think the stigma behind like working in the adult industry, even as like production or hair and makeup, it's very different. Like, people are like, oh, what's that about? Like, yeah, and it's instantly like, what?
Right.
But it's not even like that. Like, I don't think people understand that it's such a professional environment. Yeah, very professional, very to the point. Like, I know what I'm going to expect when I get on there. There's usually never any like curveballs thrown at me. Whereas on mainstream, I feel like it's a lot of chaos. Productions are usually very large. There can be multiple down periods throughout the day. Days can be longer, like over 12 hours, which can be rough. And there's multiple talents. So it's usually like 5 people in your chair before lunch, right? And then you got to go and run to set, which is maybe like, I don't know. I've worked on like college campuses, where I'm like running across the school to be like on set to do touch-ups and things like that. It's not like that with the adult industry. You're usually pretty in close proximities. It's definitely more like compacted. It's not across, all these different areas and things like that. So my experiences are different for sure. I would say that in the adult industry, they have been my favorite just because they're smaller, the teams are smaller, the communication is clearer. There's not a whole lot of downtime or waiting on extras and multiple talents and directors and, whatever the case may be, set building. It's really different at all times, but for sure these are my favorite just because of the professionalism. Everyone respects everyone's time, so we know we're going to be there for maybe 10 hours or whatever it may be, but it's always moving. Like, we're never just all sitting around or doing nothing or waiting for something to happen. Yeah, very to the point, for sure.
I love it. I think the only thing that was really kind of awkward at first, especially being around like other people, was like when they're actually, performing, having sex, whatever, on camera. We're all like kind of just in our own little, pocket while we wait. And that's really when you start to build relationships with people on set as well, is when you're like, okay, but I know that being a mother and having to like work like a lot and multiple gigs can be overwhelming. How have you been able to go about taking care of yourself while doing that?
I would say that that's one of my biggest areas that need improvement for sure, because I feel like I always put myself last, aside from like, I got stuff to do with baby. I gotta work, try and say yes to all the jobs because that income, it's gotta keep coming. So it's definitely hard to do that. I think there have been multiple instances where I just work so much and prioritize everything else so much that I am drained, like mentally, but also physically. Like, my body will give out, I'll get sick, or whatever the case may be. And that's where I kind of just like, I have not given myself a break. I haven't let myself have a day off, like an actual day off, where I'm not running around crazy all over town trying to do things. And that's where I just kind of, it's like, if you don't give yourself a break, your body's going to give it to you for you. So, and that happens to me for sure a lot of times, like multiple times, where I'm just like, go, 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 go. And I forget to kind of just like not do anything. Because that's important. You got to spend days or like whatever, give yourself a break and just not do anything. And for me, the problem is, it's just like, I always think I don't have time to not do anything, as a single mother. There's always job opportunities out there. Like, I always feel like there's not time for me to just kind of sit still and just like not do nothing, because I'm always moving and I'm constantly always moving, and my body's just used to that. So when I do overwork myself and I get sick, it's like I didn't stop at all. Like, I didn't give myself a break. I didn't like go to sleep early or drink enough water or prioritize my own health. And now, those things happen. where you do get sick from overworking. It happens to me a lot, actually. Usually, like, but also I have a kid, so she's always sick. Kids are always sick. They're in daycare. So my immune system is immediately just attacked, especially if I've been on 10-hour days for like a week straight. And then, any little instance of a germ and I'll be down,
Right.
down bad. But it definitely, I think we just need to prioritize giving ourselves breaks, because I've noticed that in the industry, like the entertainment industry overall, mainstream, adult, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
I think people glamorize like, I didn't take a 9 to 5, but now I'm on call 24 hours because you're always working, and that's not okay. Like, you gotta rest. You gotta be able to, rebalance and hydrate and properly, feed yourself and do all these things so that you can continue to work. You gotta take care of your body. You gotta get enough sleep, things like that. And it's kind of hard being in production, being in makeup, part of the crew. You're always saying yes to the jobs and then forget that you actually haven't slept more than 5 hours that week every day, so it can be really hard. And I think everyone just needs to stop prioritizing the whole like work, because it's, yes, like, good for you, all these opportunities are coming, work is great, you're making an income being creative, which is amazing. That is the goal, right? To be successful off of your creativity, but at the same time you gotta recharge and just take a breather, get some sleep, things like that. And that's definitely something that I think I'm not the only one that has a hard time doing that. I think a lot of people in our industry have this like similar challenges, but it's just finding the balance, honestly.
And it's so easy, girl, like, especially on set, to like eat bullshit, to like eat all the snacks, the crafty, the food they bring you, to just come home, go to sleep. Like, I don't want to work out, I don't want to run, I don't want to do anything. I just want to be in bed. I just want to chill. Like, just fast paced. You're always in your car, hustle and bustle. But like you said, it will catch up to you. Your body
It
will.
does.
Your body will tell you, like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So what would you say you saw works well for Stephanie when you're doing too much?
For me, I definitely think that, well, for me, it's really hard for me to catch it before it's too late. Like, I will be sick and be like, damn. Yeah. I'm out for like a few days. Like, I can't, I gotta stay in bed. And so I'm trying to kind of put it in my head to catch it before it gets to that point. And I think things that help me are going to bed at a reasonable time, drinking enough water. And even if I'm not tired, because I have trouble sleeping, just overall, I have trouble sleeping. So it's really just turning everything off. Like, the lights have to be off. The phone has to be far away, charged like across the room, because I will get on it. The TV has to be off, or things like that, I put my child to bed at like around 8:30, and I'll stay up. And like, that's like my me time. So I'll stay up and just like, do my own little like hang out, have a snack, whatever. But I also have to get to bed. So it's kind of hard, it's kind of hard trying to get like me time, but also think like I should go to bed because tomorrow I'm going to feel it's going to be another day. I work crazy hours tomorrow. Like, I'm not going to get enough sleep. So sleep definitely is something that I feel helps me to kind of reduce the likeliness of me being very, very ill from overworking. Also hydrating and eating, because I think that when you're always in go, even as like a mom, the amount of times that I forget to eat is crazy.
Right.
And I like to eat. Like, I snack all the time. I prioritize my meals, but it's instances where I'll get through like 2 days and be like, actually like 2 full meals.
Wow.
Like, in 2 days. That's not normal. That's not okay. And then it's like, all right, I gotta stop. I gotta actually drink my water, have a breakfast, not a bar, skip on the energy drink, and actually have like a meal, go to bed. And also remember that like if it's not done today, you can get it done tomorrow. Like if it's, the laundry's not done today, it can wait till tomorrow. Things like that. Because sometimes we do put so much pressure on ourselves to, for me, like go on my day off, grocery shop, prep meals for the week, do the laundry, wash the beds, do the cleaning of the apartment, the bathroom, and still be able to have dinner ready for when I pick up my kid, and then take her to her swim class or her gymnastics or whatever it is for that day. Like that's a lot of stuff that you're trying to commit to in one day. Like it doesn't all have to be done that in that instance, So I think just prioritizing what's going to keep you healthy and making sure that those things get done, even if they're little. Like, yeah, even if you tell yourself, like, today I have to get breakfast. Like, that small thing can kind of help set up, your day.
Right. I like that. The small things. And catching it before it catches you, right? Before it catches you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I remember when we were on set one time, you were like, do you have kids? And I was like, oh no. And you're kind of just like, I feel like you're kind of hinting like, don't have kids yet, or just, I don't know. But I just remember like, oh no, like you're scaring me. But could you talk about just what motherhood has taught you? And you called yourself a single mother, but what does that identity really mean, like, to you? Being a single mother?
I think it's hard because as a single parent, it's my child is my main responsibility. And I have a lot of help. Like my family helps. My friends help. Like I have a lot of help. My community helps me. It definitely takes a village to raise a child. But I'm a single parent, meaning my co-partner and I are not together. So we live in separate households. My daughter lives with me full time. He's in the picture. He's around, he's here, he's there. But for me, like, I'm always thinking baby. Like, I'll be in the grocery store and think, okay, we had salmon for dinner last week. She's going to want something different. What is she going to eat? She's not going to like these vegetables, whatever. I'll be at work and still think, like, I wonder where our baby is. Like, how is she doing in school? Things like that. So that's what. Oh, I think I lost you.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I got you. Sorry. My internet just refreshed. You did? Can you hear me? Oh, hello?
Cam,
Yeah.
did I lose you?
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, but it's like
blurry.
Hold on. Yeah, I don't know if my charger.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay, I see you now.
Oh,
it was a little touch and go there. Yeah,
I know,
right?
I know the last thing you said was.
I think I lost you.
No, I know the last thing you said was you think baby.
Yeah, so I feel like for me, sorry, my computer's dying. I feel like for me, being a single parent, like baby is always on my mind. I'll be at work and it's baby. I'll be, on set and it's okay. I need to text whoever's taking care of her, make sure she had dinner, she's showered, her hair is conditioned, things like that. Or she goes to bed at an appropriate time and she's not like watching TV till 10 o'clock. Like, whatever the case may be, like my thing is like, okay, how is this going to affect baby? And like, is she going to be taken care of? Whether I'm working late or if I have the day off. Sometimes I'll have like 3 days off in a row where I'll just make sure like that's my rest time and I'm not working because I'm working a majority of the days the following week or whatever. And so I'll think of things to do with baby, like take her to a museum or on a little trip or something to make sure that she's always like happy and having fun and feeling the love, because I do work a lot as a single parent and it is hard because in those instances where I'm working 10-hour days for a week straight, it's like, okay, but my child hasn't really seen me. Like I get home, she's sleeping. We wake up early and I take her to school. Like I don't get to see her that much, in those instances. And so I'm always just thinking I'm doing this for my kid to be able to, pay for the food that's on her table, but also in those instances where I don't have to work like that or I can prioritize time with her, I'm going to do that. So she's always my number one priority. And it can be hard because I feel like when I do take on a lot of the jobs that take like 3 days or, you know, they're 10, 12-hour days where I don't get to see my kid, it's like I have to remind myself I'm doing this for her to be able to put food on her table and pay for the roof over her head. And just know that it's not always like that. Because mom guilt is real, especially as a single parent. Like, it's real. Yeah, you feel guilty having to work so much, and then you feel guilty for, you know, not working so much. It's just hard. It's like a balance, you know? Sometimes when you're with your kid all the time, it's hard. It's like, you need to go to school because I'm going crazy. You know, during the pandemic, I was out of work for months, and that was really hard for me. It was just me and baby. Everyone else around us was working. They were still, you know, at their jobs all the time. And that was hard for me. I was like, I could never be a stay-at-home parent. Like, I could not. I can't do it. You got to make sure that they're not glued to the TV. You got to make sure that they have an appropriate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks in between, take them on walks, do all these things. It's hard, you know? And when I do work too much, it's like I want to be home with my kid because she hasn't seen me that much. And like, we haven't spent that much time together. But I also think that for people that aren't single parents, it can be easier because they have that help. Like, if it's not me putting her to bed, it's you putting her to bed. If it's not me making dinner, it's you making dinner. If I work late, you're going to be there. She's going to be, you know, her teeth are going to be brushed and she's going to be asleep and we're good. I don't have to worry. But for some people, it's not like that because you're a single parent and a lot of the responsibility falls on you. And for me, I think I wouldn't say like call the shots because that sounds very like aggressive, but I would say I'm gonna, you know, give you tasks that have to be done. Like, on this day, you take baby and this is what she can eat. She shouldn't be having McDonald's for dinner. You know, she should have at least one vegetable, even if it's a carrot, I don't care, you know, things like that. So it's like, this is the things that need to be done for her when you have her, because it's what I do for her when she's in my care, you know. And also as a mom, like most moms I think are very overprotective of their children, like very overprotective. My mom, for instance, she's always just texting me about my kid, and it's like, you need to chill. She's my kid. Like, she has one mom. I don't need to be giving all the details to you, the other grandma, both grandpas and dad. Like, that's too many cooks in the kitchen. Everyone just like
chill.
Yes. I'm the one who's here most of the time, making sure everything's running smoothly. So when she's with her dad and they're having their weekends or their days, it's just like, okay, this is the stuff that is like her normal. All of this has to get done, you know? So single parenting, I think, is just you are the main person that's prioritizing your kid in everything.
You're a very strong woman, Stephanie. And I could tell that just from when we were talking. You're working hard. You got this baby girl. You're raising a woman, a young woman, a girl who's going to be a young woman. And then you also being very young. You know, you're still very young. And I know that the relationship with you and your daughter's father, it may not have ended up or is not going the way you had envisioned it, possibly, like most women. You know, who doesn't want their family to be together? That's honestly one of my biggest fears for having a kid. So for you, I know you're not the only woman who's experienced this, going through this. What would you say is helping you let go of some of those dreams that we have as women?
Yeah, I definitely think when I got pregnant, I thought of like worst case scenarios. I'm definitely more of like a realistic person, and I really just thought like what could be, you know, like the worst or the most negative thing, or what would I be most scared of with having a family. And a lot of these things, like ending up a single parent, getting to the point where like my parents may have had to like raise my child, or us have to move back home with them, or I thought of all the things that scared me, like, and a lot of those things did happen. But when I thought about that, it was like I have to be okay with the possibility of all of these scary things happening, because if not, I can't bring a child into this world and not be prepared for these bad things that could potentially happen. Like, that's just what I thought about. Because when you have a kid and it's your choice to have your child, like, that's your life now. Like, that's your number one priority. Like, that's the only living thing that should matter, aside from everything else. And you got to be able to prioritize that, because they're born and they don't have the choice. They don't choose to be here, or to have their parents or not have their parents. So you got to make sure that you're ready, or you're going to be ready to do what you can for them, and not for you. Like, now you have a kid and that's your responsibility, and you should take pride in that you're taking care of that kid. Yeah, so it's like, I think I just thought about all my biggest fears, and like I said, a lot of those fears did happen. I am a single parent now. Biggest fear number one, but we're here and we're doing it, and it's scary, but you got to get through it. Like, it's not just for you now, it's for your child. It's my baby. So I think for me, it's like, not, I think for the longest time I avoided all the hurt and like the sad and like everything went wrong, but there's nothing that you can do to reverse that. I think you just got to learn to accept that maybe things didn't happen how you planned or how you hoped, in my instance, and just kind of go with it. Like, it is what it is now, and you're still here and you still have your baby, and you got to provide and do what you can, do the best for your child. And that's something that I thought about before she was born. And it's like, if things go wrong, like, am I still going to be able to be there for my kid? And yeah,
and not feeling shame. I'm sorry, shame with it, because I know there's a lot of women that are single mothers that feel shame, and men shame single mothers too. Like, you're this way because you're a single mother, or that's why you're.
For sure. But I think the only thing that should matter to you is your child, and what other people think, or the opinions that they form on you, whether that be the person that you are co-parenting with, or your parents, or whoever it may be. Like, that should not matter to you. What other people think about you shouldn't matter to you, as long as you think that you are doing a great job and your child is happy and healthy and thriving. Like, that's all that should matter, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be there to take care of you, are they? Those people that are forming the opinions, if they're not taking care of you guys, it should not matter what they think about what you're doing, or how you choose to, express yourself, or your me time, or whatever it may be. Because single parents they take a lot of blows. Like, they're with their child, they commit to their child all the time. It's not like a part-time thing. They're not part-time parents, they're committed to making sure that everything's going how it should go for their child. And sometimes they get shamed for taking time away from their kid, like having a night out, or doing whatever makes them happy in that moment. It can be really hard for a single parent to prioritize themselves. And so when they do, if they get shamed, it can be very hurtful to that single parent. Like, it can be hard for them. But I think we just got to remember that what people think about us it doesn't mean anything. Unless what matters is what you think of yourself and how you feel about yourself, because you're the one taking care of yourself. And I think that's not even just for parents, that's just for everyone in general. Like, you are taking care of yourself. It shouldn't matter what opinions people form about you, because they're irrelevant to
I love that.
your life. Yeah.
Yes, they are. No, they really are. Like you said, if they're not helping, they're not giving me no therapy, they're not offering me any money,
Yeah. And I think for me, my number one goal is definitely to have a good relationship with my co-parent and with the people in our families, because I'm a big family person, and I love my family. I talk to my family like on a daily basis, and I have a big family, and I want that for my child. And everyone in my family, we never had co-parents. in my relatives or my friend group. So I've never really hand experienced what co-parents look like and how they deal and how their relationship should be formed. I've only always seen like mom and dad or just mom. Like I've never seen mom and dad separate households. Never really experienced that. So I'm new to that whole situation myself, and I don't really think that that relationship should differ from what I've already encountered. Together or not, I definitely believe that mom and dad should be a strong team and should be on the same page and should be able to communicate and be in a happy co-parent relationship for their child, because your child's going to grow up with that. Like my daughter's going to grow up, she's going to see happy mom, happy dad, and they're going to be okay. You know, it should never be, in my opinion, I don't think there should be a reason for bad blood or a bad relationship between co-parents, because that doesn't help you, the co-parent, or the child. Like if there's no reason for it, it shouldn't be like that. Everyone should be peaceful and happy, and if not for you, for your kid.
I love that. My final question for you, Stephanie, I know we have to go. What would you tell the younger Steph?
Ooh, that's hard. I don't know.
With all the wisdom you have now.
I think that maybe, I think when I was younger, I prioritized having like a relationship young, like, you know, and being with like my soulmate and like a fairy tale type of thing. I would say that all that can wait. Like, do what you want to do. When I was out of high school, I think I wanted to go away for college, and I stayed pretty close to home because I was scared, and I wanted to be around my family, and I wanted to be around my partner at the time, my boyfriend at the time, who is nowhere in my life. But things like that, it's like, do what would make you happy, like from the jump. Don't think about what anyone else or whatever it may be, you know, what mom and dad or your boyfriend or whoever is gonna think or say or act. Like, if it's gonna make you happy, you should do it.